Hello guys and welcome back to the channel for another Palantir video. By the way, if you're new here, please make sure you subscribe so you don't miss any of the new future videos about Palantir. So I'm a Palantir shareholder. I have about $40,000 worth of Palantir in two portfolios, and I'm hoping to buy more somehow if the price goes down, and maybe by selling my internal organs. So if you're interested, please let me know in the comments. And yeah, I really think Palantir is, I wouldn't say once in a lifetime, but once in a 10 years opportunity. And one of the worst things about Palantir is that it's very hard to understand the product. And I feel that there's a lot of buzzwords like AI and this and that. And I've done a lot of research on this company. So and I have read one of the founders, Peter Thiel's book 0 to 1, where he specifically talks about how he thinks that AI is not going to replace humans, but there is certain things that AI is very good at, and there are certain things that humans are good at. And it's very simple to understand. So he says that AI is extremely good at going through large sets of data, and they are able to point you to where a human needs to take a decision. So AI sucks at making decisions, and humans suck at, I don't know, reading hundreds of thousands of pages to find, things that look suspicious. So, and he gave an example that in the early days of PayPal, what happened is they were losing about $10 million a day to Russian hackers, and especially one that was called Igor. And they were fighting as Igor, and basically this guy even went in the media, if I know the story correctly, and he said that he will never be caught. And then they came up with an algorithm that would detect suspicious transactions, and they would hold those transactions. And this was a complete failure. So this was a 100% AI or whatever algorithm based solution. And basically what happened is this Igor guy within a few days was able to hack learn how the algorithm works, and then he just hacked it again, and then they couldn't do anything about him, right? So then they came up with this solution, and this was actually how Palantir was born. This was the early idea of Palantir, is that they would have an algorithm that goes through the tens of millions of transactions that PayPal has in a day, and it would flag 20-30 transactions that I think these are suspicious, and then a human would look at those transactions and they would stop and reverse the transactions that were done by hackers. And this actually became the Igor killer and completely stopped this. And you see, it would have been completely unfeasible for human to go through the 10 million transactions. And the AI, it was completely unfeasible for the AI to stop this guy because the AI can't make decisions. But then when you combine these two strengths, this is when you get a really good synergy that basically you massively increase the productivity of the human, and you get amazing things done. And this is very important to keep in mind when we deal with Palantir, because this is actually how they were born. If you want to read the book by Peter Thiel, very interesting book, 0 to 1. I highly recommend it. But there is a demo online that I want to look at with you about how Gotham works, and I just want to do a little commentary there so you can see this early beginnings of Palantir and how this is still in the program, and you get a way better understanding of what the company does. So this is a demonstration that is on Palantir's website, YouTube channel, that you can also check. I just want to show you a few parts because it's...
I'm Meredith, and I'm a deployment strategist at Palantir. During my time as an active...
This is some blah blah that is not so important, but she gives an imaginary scenario.
Escalate. Now that the focus is shifting to great power competition, the real question is, can we deter the next great war? As a notional example, an escalation could start with something as simple as the Chinese military conducting a routine exercise in the South China Sea. To see the full picture and make tactical, operational, and strategic decisions, the U.S. and allied forces rely on Palantir. Monitoring the exercise, AI models running on satellite data detect an increased level of military activity. To the north, ship detection models identify an alarming buildup of fishing vessels surrounding a major Taiwanese port. An activity model detects that many of those ships are tied together, suggesting an ulterior motive and increasing the risk of a blockade.
So here I just want to add again, remember this theory from Peter Thiel. So basically, to do this without an AI, you would need, I don't know, 200 people sitting at satellite screens watching, I don't know, 20 ports each to see this suspicious activity, right? And instead you have an AI scanning through all the incoming satellite data on ports, and then they can tell a human that, okay, here there is suspicious activity, and then it is the human then that takes it forward. So you will see this also in the future. Incredible that instead of having to employ, I don't know, 100 people, you can do it with one, and the efficiency, it's unbelievable how much the efficiency improves.
The U.S. maintains a national interest in free trade throughout the South China Sea. And as an island only 90 miles off the coast of mainland China, Taiwan is especially reliant on freedom of navigation through international waters. This free trade is particularly critical given that Taiwan produces 80% of the world's semiconductors. The device you're watching this on today almost certainly relies on these parts. Any disruption could be disastrous. So as the team watches closely with partner nations, a new alert comes in from Japanese intelligence. The Chinese Liu Yang destroyer has gone dark and isn't showing up on intelligence feeds. The ship had previously been docked in a southern naval base, but AI models detect that it's now missing. Gotham fuses data from multiple sources to project likely paths for the Liu Yang. The most dangerous routes head east, towards both the military exercise and the mounting tensions outside the Taiwanese port. The analyst identifies a key fork to monitor between the routes.
So again, you see that here the AI basically notified that the ship went missing. The AI notified that these were the most dangerous routes. And it was then a human who made the decision that, okay, this is the point that needs to be checked.
To collect more imagery, machine learning models built by academic and commercial partners run on data across all domains. The models determine that satellite coverage alone is not enough to find the ship. Based on what is capable and ready, the system recommends a few alternatives. The best option is an aircraft from Okinawa. Before finalizing the selection, analysts deploy the latest micromodels, trained to avoid incoming threats, identify military equipment, and detect military ships.
Again, the analysts, very important. So the AI does all the danger calculation and all the route calculation.
The unmanned aircraft receives its mission and prepares for takeoff. Time is ticking, and they need to find the ship quickly. As the aircraft departs, video streams back to headquarters in real time. A ship identification model detects the dimensions, speed, and weapon system of the destroyer headed north. An analyst back in the operations center verifies the detection, which confirms the Liu Yang is on the most dangerous path.
You see, they don't even trust the AI to verify it. It says the analyst verifies the satellite pictures.
And is only a few hours away from the potential blockade. The commander is briefed on the fast-developing situation and examines several human and machine-generated courses of action that have been jointly tested and developed in past exercises and simulations. The first option involves sending reinforcements to a nearby base, which may take too long. The second option is to send a manned aircraft over the fishing vessels, which could introduce unnecessary risk. The third option is a freedom of navigation operation, which means positioning an American or Allied ship closer to the developing situation. This option appears to have the highest probability of success with the lowest risk. Joint forces decide to task an American ship. Once the choice is selected, a task order is submitted, and the American ship quickly alters course.
Again, humans decided on how the situation based on all the suggestions from the AI.
Just closely as the operation progresses. And as the American ship approaches, the fishing vessel blockade begins to disband, and the Liu Yang continues north without incident.
So if you're interested, you can watch this demo. I'll probably link it in the description below. But I believe that this is a very big weakness of Palantir, that they use a lot of buzzwords, and understandably it's very hard to demonstrate their product and make people understand how it works. And if you are someone who works with the Palantir software and you happen to watch this video, please, I would love to do an interview with you. So just comment below so we can get in touch. But I really hope that this video helped you to understand Palantir, and it will make you one of those few investors who actually understand Palantir. And I believe that we have made an amazing investment, and we're going to 5 to 10x our money in the next 5 years. And I hope you enjoyed this video and I earned your subscription, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye bye.